What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to week 7 of fantasy football. We continue to get killed by injuries, so we will continue to push out players through the waiver wire to help you win your fantasy football matchup. I know you guys like these videos short and sweet, so we're going to get right into it. And of course, as always, we will answer every single question down in the comment section or in our live stream tonight, which we will be live tonight on this channel and on TikTok at 7 p.m. So hope to see you guys there. We will answer every single question. Right to the video, we always start off with quarterbacks. So number one, let's talk about Justin Fields. Justin Fields, he is owned in 68% of leagues, but this guy seems to get it done every single time. He is going up against a tough defense with the New York Jets, but he has a pretty good matchup after that with the Giants. So this could be a great streaming option for the next 2 weeks. I do feel like he will get it done next week, especially utilizing his legs. Don't sleep on him. This guy is ranked number 5 amongst quarterbacks for fantasy football. Up next, at a ranking just below him, let's talk about Geno Smith coming off one of his worst games this season so far against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go. But this guy is still a top tier fantasy football quarterback. He is owned in 65% of leagues. So he's out there. He's still available. And trust me, this guy is going to continue to sling the ball. Go out there, pick him up if you are in need of a quarterback. So after the quarterbacks, let's run into running backs. Number one, Tyrone Tracy, a guy we talked about last week. He is owned in 56% of rosters. He had 22 points last week with 17 rushing attempts. This guy is a guy you want to roster, especially if Singletary is out for another week. Now, I don't feel like he will be out, but I think Tracy has done enough to earn himself a role on that offense. So even if Singletary comes back, he will have a role there. Now, how big that role will be, we won't know until they actually play together. After him, we got Ty Chandler. We have some disappointing news. I want to say disappointing news. I mean, no news with Aaron Jones out there in Minnesota at the time of this recording. I am recording this Monday. So if something does come out, just know I recorded before. But right now, all we know is that Aaron Jones is week to week, and this injury be much more than what we think it is. So if he does end up missing time, we all have to know that Ty Chandler will be the running back one and will be the absolute bell cow in that backfield. Another guy who kind of lost his bell cow position is Bijan Robinson. And that's why we will pay some attention to Tyler Algier, who is owned in 40% of leagues, but is also getting nearly 50-50 split with Bijan Robinson in that backfield. Now, he did produce last week with 19.8 points. Yes, Bijan had more points. Yes, Bijan had one more rushing attempt, but these guys are splitting the backfield, and this is not something that you should ignore. He should definitely be at least rostered on the bench just in case something happens. This guy is a premium handcuff. Now let's go down to wide receivers. I'm not super excited about the wide receivers we have this week, but number one, if this guy's available, go out, go get him. His name, Josh Downs. Josh Downs for the past 4 weeks has been amazing, just amazing since he's come back. Last week he had 19.5 points. Now this guy should be rostered in every single league, but the thing I'm scared about is Anthony Richardson coming back. Now, how worried should we be? I think we should be very worried, but there is that chance where Josh Downs holds it down. So see what I did there? So go out there, get him for that slight chance that he does remain a top tier wide receiver who's available out there for you. So up next, I want to run two guys here, both from the same team. I want to go with Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. Now, these guys are not anything to go crazy about. They're not super exciting, but it's open season for Green Bay. Jordan Love is slinging the ball. Both these guys had 4 targets each, but both get off with tons of points. And if this offense continues the way it's going, I fully expect Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and Jaden Reed to all have a part in that high velocity offense. So, especially if you guys are in those deep leagues, these are awesome candidates to get off the waiver wire. After that, another guy that you should get off, especially if you are in a deep league, is Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, again, I'm not super excited about this pick. He is owned in 33% of leagues, so he's available. But he did get 8 targets the last time we saw him play. They are going to be against San Francisco, whose defense is looking better. But Juju is the guy who's getting the targets, who's getting the yards. He had the most yards in the team and only fell behind Travis Kelce behind those targets. So Juju is definitely a guy to keep your eye on. Now, will he Will he keep this up? I'm not entirely too sure, but just in case he does, go out there, go pick him up while he's available. After that, let's go into a position that everyone is struggling with. Number one, we talked about this guy plenty of times this season so far. Let's talk about Zach Ertz. He's rostered in 36% of leagues. He's been consistent. He just got 5 targets 2 weeks ago against the Cleveland Browns. He did not do so well, but in that game, he did have 8 targets. Now, for a tight end, this is very special. That is super awesome. Up next, he's going to be against Carolina. So he has a pretty favorable matchup coming up. Definitely a guy who you might want to stream. But speaking of streaming, let's talk about Cade Otton. He is in a high passing offense. He is getting the targets. He is getting consistent points. Now, you take away the first 2 weeks of the fantasy football season. Now, this guy's a top 10 tight end. You definitely need to go out there, get this guy rostered. What other choice do you have? Unless you have Travis Kelce or Brock Bowers, these two guys are definitely someone who you should be rostering on your league. Now, if you're like me, I like to stream defenses. So these are the top defenses that I like this week. Number one being the Saints against the Broncos, Bills against the Titans, Bengals against Browns, and the Rams against the Raiders. So go out there, check if those defenses are available. And if they are, make sure you go pick them up to higher your chances of winning your fantasy football week. Again, that is all I got for today. If you guys need some more help, we will be live tonight on this channel and on TikTok at 7 p.m. Central Time. So go out there, check us out, or leave a comment down for this video, and we will get to every single comment. And now that's a promise. And of course, until next time, what we always say here, keep on grinding.